I want to draw the attention of my colleagues to the tables, and I beg of them to take time and read the tables. Let me take them to Appendix 2A. Appendix 2A. Mr. Speaker, I ask them to please take their budgets and read with me Appendix 2A. Half year when we came to this chamber, we warned our colleagues on the government bench that the revenue measures you have put in place, contrary to your thinking that it will raise more revenue so that you can meet your expenditure commitments, it will not meet the target. Mr. Speaker, half year when we came here, revenue was underperforming by 3 billion Ghana cedis. In fact, if you read the all of government report published by the Controller and Accountant General, contrary to their claim that we didn't leave them buffers, the balance brought forward from 2024 is 11 billion Ghana cedis. If you add that to the 3 billion, their revenue shortfall at half year was 14 billion. Mr. Speaker, as at now, the revenue shortfall is 8 billion. If you look at the numbers, 8 billion. And if you add that 11 billion to it, that is 19 billion. Mr. Speaker, if Hansard and our colleagues who are here will be truthful to themselves, mid-year, we told them here that by the end of the year, they will have to cut expenditure by 30 billion because their revenue is not performing. Today, when you look at the tables, you have cut expenditure by 28 billion. Then you cut 30 billion because revenue is not performing. Why is that important? Because, Mr. Speaker, all the promises that you make, if you are not able to mobilize the revenue, you cannot fulfill it. If you go into the tables and you find the numbers that were promised us, the team from finance told us that they were going to remove taxes and they won't bring new taxes. And that after they have implemented this new fiscal strategy, they will get more revenue. Remember, the finance minister told us that he was going to move tax to GDP ratio, in fact, revenue to GDP ratio, from 13% to 18%. I'm sure we all remember. Mr. Speaker, when we were leaving power, revenue as a percentage of GDP was 16%. After they implemented their strategy, revenue is now underperforming. It's now at 11% of GDP. Colleagues, if you haven't taken time to look at the tables, you have lost 5% of GDP on revenue. You think there's more money? 5% of GDP, that is 5% of 1 trillion, is 50 billion Ghana cedis. If you don't understand it, please let me explain some more. What boka 50 billion? And that is why you have had to cut your expenses. And Mr. Speaker, the expenses they have cut, it's not just numbers. The 28 billion they have cut is not numbers. They are teachers who were waiting to be recruited. And because this government has played politics with the revenue strategy, they are at home. They are nurses who were waiting to be recruited. Because you have played politics with the revenue strategy, they are sitting at home. They are contractors who are waiting to be paid. And because you have been doing politics with the revenue strategy, they have not been paid. Mr. Speaker, they are the flagship programs that young Ghanaians are waiting for this government to fund. And because they've been doing politics with it, they cannot fund even their own flagship programs. So, Mr. Speaker, when we are drawing their attention to the fact that their revenue strategy is not performing, they can dance and sing as much as they want in the chamber. The results out there will show them. Mr. Speaker, 2025, they promised to spend 51 million Ghana cedis on the Women's Bank. They did not spend it. Then this year, without providing any report on it, they announced that they've increased the budget to 400 million and that it is a credible budget. Does that sound like credibility to you? 2025, you promised 1.5 billion to the agri sector to improve agriculture. You haven't done much. In fact, it took 1 day to the budget before they launched in Kokon Kitinkiti. Zero work done. And then now you come and promise 2 billion cedis for agri, and you say it is a credible budget. Does that sound credible to you? You promised 300 million for apprenticeship program. Where are the apprentices? What work are they doing? Nothing happens, and then you come back and promise another 170 million. Does that sound like credibility? So, colleagues, in all humility, if you stop dancing in the chamber and pay attention to the numbers, you realize that you have a big problem. In fact, we all have a big problem that we have to fix. When you say this, then they say, oh, the cedi has appreciated by 30%. Inflation is down. Monetary policy rate is down. And so by Papa. Mr. Speaker, let me take my time to draw the attention once again to a few more things. In the beginning, we told them that, colleagues, this currency that has appreciated by 30% is a matter of fact, but it is because you are pumping dollars into the economy. You will recall, Mr. Speaker, that when we said it, the governor of the central bank told us on the 30th of April 2025, and I quote, "The Bank of Ghana is not injecting dollars to support the cedi stability." This is a matter of record. We kept insisting that they were pumping. So when the Bishops' Conference visited the president at Jubilee House, they inquired of him that, "Mr. President, the minority say that you are pumping and that the fundamentals haven't changed." Mr. President told them that no, it's not true, and that it is effective leadership that was leading to the gains of the cedi. We kept reading the summary of economic and financial data and telling them that, colleagues, you are pumping. It took the IMF to draw their attention and ask them to stop, and then the depreciation resumed. When it resumed, by the 10th of September, when the president held the press conference, the media asked him that, "Mr. President, it has started depreciating again." That was when the president admitted and said the Bank of Ghana had been intervening, and it is when they stopped that the depreciation has resumed. Mr. Speaker, the IMF has instructed the central bank, and I can say on authority, that henceforth, every month before they pump, they should announce. And that is why on the 5th of October, the Bank of Ghana announced that they were going to pump 1.15, and on the 3rd of November, they announced that they were going to pump another 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, from January till now, the Bank of Ghana has pumped not less than 8 billion cedis to shore up, $8 billion, I beg your pardon, to shore up the currency. Ghana's import bill so far is about $14 billion. So the normal supply of dollar in the economy will give us problems. It is this pumping that is holding us up. Mr. Speaker, what we should do is to take advantage of the windfall forex that we are getting from the gold purchase program and fix the structural issues. Else you can dance as much as you want in the chamber. If we are hit by one challenge, we will be in trouble. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to inflation, if you don't tackle the supply side issues, and all that you are doing is that you are sterilizing, the consequence, Mr. Speaker, will be that you will claim inflation has come down, but the lived experience of people out there will be that the prices of the average goods and services they are buying is going up. Mr. Speaker, if you say that the monetary policy rate of the central bank has come down, so interest rates are solid, I beg of you to check the average lending rate and the stock of credit to private sector. You will find that it hasn't reflected. So we have serious issues to deal with. We should not reduce it to name calling and dancing and singing. Else, one major shock, we'll be back to where we are. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me focus my attention on the real sector. Agric, you promised 1.5 billion investment into two major things, Feed Ghana and Nkukon Kitinkiti. Nkukon Kitinkiti, you launched it one day before you came to read the second of your 4 budgets. So how much investment has gone into it? Zero. Feed Ghana, how much has gone into it? Where are the farmers who are supposedly benefiting from it for it to lead to an improvement in agriculture? So real sector investment, growth and jobs is not happening. Industry, you inherited a 24-hour economy program. You said it was a bad program. In fact, you inherited a 1D, 1F program. I beg your pardon. You said it was a bad program and that you are replacing it with a 24-hour economy program. No problem.
So when should I ask that you inherited 24-hour economy should be expunged from the record?
No, they inherited a 1D, 1F program. And then they said it wasn't good for purpose, and so they were replacing it with a 24-hour economy program. Mr. Speaker, the National Development Planning Commission of the Republic of Ghana has reported that the 1B, 1F program left 150 factories that were functioning. That is 18 factories a year. So in 2025, when you suspended the 1B, 1F program, the opportunity cost is 18 factories that could have created jobs for young people. You said 24-hour economy program. Where are the factories? How many jobs? You ended up even by telling us that in 2026, we should not expect a program and a budget. Now you say you are going to give us 110 million for the 24-hour economy factory. You have no program to create industrial jobs. Mr. Speaker, In the budget, they say they are going to create 800,000 jobs. And I saw my brother John Dumelo dancing at the back there that Ato is forcing because he's announced 800,000 jobs. They forgot that the next paragraph says that 490,000 of those jobs are laborers. Paragraph 501, please listen. Mr. Speaker, 63 billion Ghana cedis worth of road contracts awarded so far under the big push, and it will generate 490,000 jobs. So your 800,000 jobs that you are announcing in your own budget, almost 500,000 of them are going to be manual labor on road projects. I was in Cape Coast University 2 days ago. The students who are about to graduate, those in the technical universities, you don't have plans for them. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by reminding our colleagues that if this budget really intends to create growth and jobs, they need to be investing in the job-creating initiatives. You can make all the noise that you want. If your revenue doesn't perform, you won't get the money to invest in it. If your revenue doesn't perform and you don't invest it in the things that will create jobs, the young people will come for you at the end of the day. You say you don't have fiscal space. You are doing fiscal discipline. So I was shocked to hear you say that now you have space to buy a new executive jet. 2, actually. You don't have fiscal space. You don't have fiscal space to finish paying the contractors on outstanding projects. But you have fiscal space to buy 2 executive jets. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to conclude by reminding our colleagues, your revenue strategy is not performing. You don't have resources to expend. You are pumping because gold prices is at $4,000. It may not be there forever. You have 2 more budgets to go. I beg of you, spend it doing the real structural issues, not dancing over temporary results. Else, we'll be back here some other time. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honorable Adongo.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague, Mr. Speaker, my colleague cited me.
Honorable members, let me sign this signal. When you are debating, avoid mentioning somebody's name. By the rules, once you mention the person's name, when he's up, I would give the person the floor. Honorable Adongo, you have the floor.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, my colleague attributed falsehood to me. He attributed falsehood to me. When I stood up yesterday, I said the rate of debt accumulation went into negative territory in many years. 2021 to 2025 is 14 years. That is in many years. I did not say that it has never gone into negative territory. That is one. 2, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. There is no instruction. Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip, please, I recognize Honorable Adongo. Honorable Adongo, kindly conclude.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. Ghana is under an official IMF program. And there are benchmarks and there are prior actions. There is nowhere in the IMF program where there has been an instruction to Ghana not to intermediate in our market. and that there's no letter. There is no official. Master, this is a house of records. This is a house of records. The IMF has not asked the government of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance or the Bank of Ghana to make any announcement in managing its foreign currency. Therefore, the honorable colleague, is not supported by the facts, and this is a house of records. I therefore request that, Mr. Speaker, that should be expunged from the records, because the IMF program is an official record, it's an official program, and there is no instruction to the government of Ghana not to manage its foreign currency. And nobody should be allowed to put into the official records that Ghana has been asked to report to the public when it wants to manage its foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Honourable members, we can make our submission without mentioning a member's name. The rules are very clear. Honourable Kojo Opon-Nkrumah, your name has not been mentioned, so I will not give you the floor. I proceed to recognize Honourable Alfred Ni Kote. You have the floor. Honourable Alfred Ni Kote, you have the floor. Well, I will also... Honourable members, order. Yes, Honourable Jerry Ahmed.
Speaker, with all due deference to you, we understand that names are not to be mentioned when we are having debates. Yesterday, my respected colleague, Honorable Kojo Opon-Nkrumah's name was mentioned. He actually stood up trying to catch your attention, which I believe he caught your attention, Speaker. But, Speaker, he was ignored.
Then he didn't catch my eye.
Speaker, Speaker, that's for your attention.
Then I'll proceed to mention Honorable Alikplim Akurugu. You have 5 minutes. Yes, Majority Chihui.
Mr. Speaker, the order of names that we submitted, the next speaker, the next person to comment at this stage should be Gakwe, in the order that we presented to
you. With all due respect, I have the list here. The first on the list is Honorable Fred Agbanyo. Second on the list is Honorable Kletu Sedu Dapila. Third on the list is Honorable Alfred Ni Kote. Fourth on the list is Honorable Alikplim Akurugu. That is the list I have before me.
Mr. Speaker,
so
that's fine.
From which
Mr.
list
Speaker,
are you speaking?
That's fine. So, Alikplim, please speak.
This is what I have. I don't have any new list. Honorable Alikplim Akurugu, you have the floor. Honorable Alikplim Akurugu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the 2026 budget statement and economic policy of the government delivered by the Honorable Minister, Dr. Ato Forson. Mr. Speaker, the agricultural sector remains the backbone of the economy and our lifeline for many million Ghanaian households. As the Minister rightly said, the agricultural sector has recorded
Honorable Majority Chief Whip, you have no right to ask the member to stop talking.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect.
But you cannot ask the member to stop talking.
Mr. Speaker, we are supposed
You can draw my attention to something, but you cannot ask the member to stop talking.
The member is speaking and they are making noise. I have every right to draw attention to it. Mr. Speaker, to tell me that I have no right, it's also not regular.
Order.
Please listen to her in silence.
Honourable members, order.
Why?
Honourable members, order. Honourable Akurugu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the minister rightly stated, the agriculture sector has seen a 6% growth, doubling that of last year. The progress is commendable and reflects the resilience of our farmers and growing impact of target interventions. Mr. Speaker, I was surprised to hear or listen to our former Minister for Finance. I don't know what he was saying, but Mr. Speaker, under his watch, the agriculture sector saw an emergency responses, whilst the current budget, which our Honourable Minister Ato Forson recorded, is being managed and structural reforms are being formed. The former government acted on emergency relief of 500 million to ease drought and food security, whilst Dr. Ato Forson is giving us a driving and a long-term structural reforms for agro growth. Mr. Speaker,
As your name be mentioned.
under the watch of our former minister, he focused on short-term
Honourable
fixes,
Amim,
credit
I'm avoiding
assets,
interruptions. So
exports,
if after her
export
debate
bans,
you want the floor,
basic
I'll give you the floor.
climate actions.
Just like what I did for Adongo.
And under our current finance minister, we are seeing pursuing comprehensive long-term reforms through broader financing, value chain development, climate-driven industrialization, and major infrastructure investments. Mr. Speaker, the 2024 budget under the former minister was appropriate for purposes stabilizing food security system during national emergency. Mr. Speaker, it was under his watch when we noticed that donkeys, fertilizers meant for farmers, were being exported and the monies used to buy lands for themselves. Mr. Speaker, under the watch of Honourable Ato Forson, he is bringing bold, systematic, investment-driven, and transformational to the economy. It addresses the root causes of agriculture underperformance, builds sustainable value chains, and positions agriculture as a modern economic engine. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget deserves commendation for shifting agriculture from survival competitiveness and from crisis management to national development. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. I am grateful.
Yes, Honourable Amin Adams. Next on the list is Honourable Kobina Ochre Daku Mensah. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do believe that, first and foremost, our side have already delivered on the budget and actually punched the necessary holes in the budget. Mr. Speaker. Hello. Mr. Speaker. What's he doing here? Mr. Speaker. The mic is not working.
Honourable member, you have the floor.
Hello, Mr. Speaker. Hello, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I will basically be looking at the budget from the inability of the Finance Ministry and the government to raise the necessary revenues. Hello? Yeah. Mr. Speaker, the only way you can fix the economy of this country is the ability of government to raise revenues. And we know that for the budgeted amount of 162 billion, only 154 was raised, clearly showing that this government have been very lazy in raising the necessary revenues to spend on the good people of this country. Mr. Speaker, you will also realize that this government, under the 2025 budget, came to this House to tell us that they were removing what we call Hello?
Honourable, continue.
Unfortunately, they introduced so many taxes, more than 10 of them. They increased the growth and sustainability levy by 300%, from 1% to 3%. They also extended the clause, sending it from 2025 to 2028. Mr. Speaker, electricity tariffs have also been increased in this country almost to 19%, whilst water prices have also increased by 4%. Mr. Speaker, you would also realize that when it even comes to government taxes and charges, government charges and fees, they've increased that between 30 to 40% in this country. And therefore, when the government says that inflation is reducing, you realize that on the market, the story is entirely different. So whilst people are trying to praise this budget, I want to say that what they are doing in 2025 have shown all Ghanaians that nothing is really happening. Recently, the Minister for Finance himself had done some few rounds and had gone to Takrady, and he has stated it clearly in the budget, paragraph 1192. Mr. Speaker, after his rounds, he had done his own radio presentations, and I would like to quote what had come from City. Mr. Speaker, whilst he was trying to tout himself, the people of Takrady in particular, this is what he said, and I quote: "Some listeners from Takrady questioned the accuracy of the market price claims made during the minister's recent tour of Takrady." So clearly, if the minister is claiming that inflation is coming down to 9%, 8%, single digits, clearly it is not being felt on the grounds. So clearly that shows that this budget is not telling the truth. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the prices of goods on the market, sugar, Mr. Speaker, sugar used to be 480 per bag. Today, as we speak, sugar prices are 540 at the Takrady market. Mr. Speaker, when you take 1 cup, we used to be 6 cedis. Today is 10 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, Kenke, which used to be 5 cedis, is now 7 cedis. So clearly, Mr. Speaker, it shows that the government of Ghana, the budget presented by Dr. Ato Forson, is just not working. Mr. Speaker, therefore, every Ghanaian should know that the budget they keep presenting to us and by the NDC is not a budget that is solving the problems of this country. Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, is he citing Kempinski hotel prices? Is it Kempinski hotel prices or Makola prices?
I've mentioned these are price.
Honourable Member, continue.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, one other area the Minister of Finance has deliberated on in this House has to do the issue of big push. Mr. Speaker, even before the Minister started spending on big push, we were told last year that they've spent over 10 billion on projects that we know have not started. If you look at Budget Appendix 2C on column, the second column, you see clearly there. For the first part, it said they have spent 6 billion, 6.6, and the second part, 3.2. But we all know in this country that big push have not started. In fact, when they came to Takrady to even launch, what is it? When they came to Takrady to launch the big push, no contractor was introduced. The president was the contractor, and at the same time, the person cutting the sword for the project.
Hold on. Honorable Kwame Agojan, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily I should let my colleague flow in the debate. But Mr. Speaker, we beg of you, if colleagues make statements, and I'm grateful you gave me the opportunity. My colleague just said that the finance minister has said that we spent 6 billion on big push, and he is aware that big push hasn't started. How can you even make that comment? When you know in this house, Mr. Speaker, we have listed projects that have started, and I've come here to say that some of the big push projects are 30% already into the program. So if you don't know about these things, don't say these things. Don't say these things. Big push projects are on site. Big push projects are on site.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the first two speakers, you were able to manage it very well. Mr. Speaker, yourself, you can see that when you give opportunities on point of order, people are now abusing Order 122. So, Mr. Speaker, with respect, let the debate flow and don't give chances to all these.
Honourable members, if
Mr. Speaker, if they have something to say, there is a next speaker. They can hand it over to the person.
Honourable
The person
members,
do the correction, and then we move on.
If you watch me carefully, when a member is commenting on the budget and our rules are breached, I know. Don't take it that I don't know when the rules are breached. Honorable Ochre, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me. My name was mentioned by Honorable Akurugu to the effect that we use the money meant for the fertilizers to go and buy land for ourselves.
Honorable member, you realize that after Akurugu has finished speaking, I give the floor to Honorable Amin Adam.
No, I didn't hear my name.
You stood up, but you sat down again.
No, I didn't hear my name.
I did so. The record can bear me out. They can play the voice recording for you.
I didn't. And so, Mr. Speaker,
they can play the voice recording for you.
Mr. Speaker, I think she should provide
I
evidence.
really mentioned your name.
I didn't hear, Mr. Speaker. And if you indulge me, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker,
members, if you can keep quiet and listen to each other,
I said I didn't
I
hear.
think it will be of a great service to all of us. The record will show that I mentioned your name, but you said you did not hear me.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't hear. And so if you indulge me, I will request
Honorable
that
member,
that
that
record.
time has lapsed. Now, Honorable Ochre
Mr. Speaker,
Daku-Mensah is on the floor.
Mr. Speaker,
So
a false,
if you are up, are you
a false
interrupting him
allegation
and you can
shouldn't
tell
be
me the
left on
basis?
Hansard. That information
Kindly
must be
resume your
expunged.
seat.
Otherwise, she should
I
provide
mean, kindly
evidence.
resume your seat.
She should provide evidence.
Prime
Otherwise, it should
Minister,
be
kindly
expunged from the
resume your
records.
seat.
Mr. Speaker, accuse
Please
me
resume your
of
seat.
using
The floor
fertilizer
is for
modified land for myself.
Daku-Mensah.
That
Honorable
is not fair. It's
Daku-Mensah, you
not a
have the
fair
floor.
ruling. Mr. Speaker, it's not a fair ruling.
Mr. Speaker, we all know that Big Push is not a funding source. It's just a program name. And therefore, if you are talking about new projects under the Big Push, there is nowhere in this budget that new projects have started under the Big Push. And therefore, any expenditure under the Big Push are for old Nana Akufo-Addo's projects. And the NDC cannot claim those projects. Mr. Speaker, the budget also make mention of spending over 292 million on sanitary pads. The same NDC, prior to 2005, during the 2024 campaign, made mention that they are going to go into what we call the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, we've had different versions of the explanations for the 24-hour economy. But we all know that the youth of this country are looking for jobs. That is why they bought into this project. Mr. Speaker, I do believe that spending 292 million on just sanitary pads alone is not good enough. In fact, we should take part of that money to set up factories in every constituency of this country. At least if you are even spending 200,000 Ghana cedis to set up a sanitary pad factory, we can provide sanitary pad factories and employ over 100 people per factory in all the constituency of this country. At least that can be said to be maybe an agenda 276 instead of 24-hour economy, so that the youth of this country can be employed and they can produce these sanitary pads locally and supply the schools that we want to supply. Because with only $20,000, we should be able to set up these factories across the length and breadth of our country. Mr. Speaker, one other area that I've been talked about in this House is that anytime we give an advice, our brothers on this side, I've heard Jirapa, I've heard Honorable Adongo, telling us that we have messed up the economy and we'll under them an economy that has been messed up. But Mr. Speaker, everybody knows in this country that before we took over power in 2017, the economy itself had been messed up. Because if you look at the data for 2016 and the data for 2024, you can see a marked improvement in these data. And therefore, I believe that the Ghanaians should know that those who messed up the economy was not the MPP. We came to fix the problem. Because we are all here when the NDC supervised the biggest banking loot in this country, costing the nation over 30 billion Ghana cedis. At that time, about $6 billion. It took the courage and the energy of the MPP administration to look for money to solve this problem. It was after that that COVID also came to create additional problems. And we were able to solve them to the extent that whilst we took a growth rate under the John Dramani administration, from 3.4%, we were able to move it to 5.7. 5.7. So nobody should be able to say this again in this House, that we messed up the economy. We never messed up the economy. We were faced with challenges and we were able to solve it. Under the NDC, there are no challenges in this country. But even inflation, single digit, they are only doing just about 8. In 2019, with this single digit of 7.9% of inflation, So definitely, the NDC cannot debate with us and tell us that they are doing better under us. And everybody know where they are getting their monies for the dollar depreciation. So please, Mr. Speaker, I do believe that the biggest challenge we have in this country is that the structure of the economy has to be reorganized. Because without productivity, we cannot naturally deal with the issue of depreciation of the cedi in this country. Recently, when the minister came to present the budget, the dollar was just about 10.7. Today, as we speak, we are looking at 11.45 of the dollar. So clearly, the dollar is not stable. Today, check. You can check. Bank of Ghana rate. Bank of Ghana rate. But we're able to we brought it down before we handed it over to you. So, Mr. Speaker, there is no way the NDC can do anything better than what we did under our term. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure everybody that the choices the NDC are now making are not good choices. We need choices that will continue to support the growth of this country. It is very important, very, very, very important, that when we were in power, they insisted there was no need for us to buy helicopters and jets for the government and the army. Today, they've come back. They have to be on principles. We cannot be running this country without principles. If they believe that we didn't need it, why now? Why now? Why do they want to use the taxpayers' money now for those purchases to put the president in executive jets? I believe that it is time they rethink, because the 1.2 billion can be used in fixing the Accra-Kumasi road, where a lot of people have been dying. In fact, we just need a minimum of 3.7 billion to complete the bypasses and get the double road or the dual carriages from Accra to Kumasi. And I believe that when we are able to spend that money better that way, debt on that road will reduce, productivity will increase, and the structure of our economy will change, so that we can naturally support our city, we can naturally support the growth and development and the creation of jobs in this country, so that more of our youth, more of our young people will be able to better benefit from the budget that we have developed. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Honourable members, I then proceed to give the floor to Honourable Alfred Nikote. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you once again. I'm privileged to also share on the budget that Honourable Ato Forson has come to lay before this House. But, Mr. Speaker, it baffles me when I hear our colleagues on the other side churning out figures that we don't know where they are generated from. Because we are in this country, in fact, we were in this country when they churned out figures to the World Bank and gave Ghana conflicting figures. But because truth do not lie, they were caught in flagrante delicto. To say they were caught pants down. Mr. Speaker, it was clear what we all witnessed under the MPP government. It was obvious the economy was so malnourished that my Bukom brother in Bukom will call it a kwashiorkor economy. That is what we inherited, a kwashiorkor economy. Today, we have a government that has put better measures in place, and we are all seeing the signs of the economy improving. Let me get on to the specifics. In the area of health, and Mr. Speaker, if you permit, I would like to refer us to page 183 of this budget statement, page 183. And I want to lay emphasis on health. Mr. Speaker, under health alone, allocations made for 2026 is 22 billion, over 22 billion Ghana cedis, almost 23 billion. These monies hitherto would not have been gotten because under the MPP, they capped all those sectors and create inconveniences for NHIS and what have you. Today, we have uncapped it. And I don't want to go into the details because one of my colleagues have done that already. But Mr. Speaker, these monies will be channeled into the NHIS fund so that we'll have monies to pay claims, unlike what they faced that they couldn't pay. So there will be confidence in the Ghanaian when they take their health insurance card and say they are going to the hospital. Under the MPP, healthcare was so bad that even vaccines for children, what we used to call 6 killer diseases, now more than that. We couldn't even get vaccines to save our children. Today, Mr. Speaker, today, infection and control has been elevated nationally. Infection prevention and control has been elevated, such that all over the country, you see nurses going from one house to the other, vaccinating children. We couldn't see that under MPP. Mr. Speaker, under this government, we have been able to commence the development of the National Cleft Center in Konfanochi to save those who are suffering from that. They were in power for 8 years. They didn't see the need to do that. We have partnered organizations and we are developing that for Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, under emergency response, the National Ambulance Service in just 1 year has trained 500 emergency medical technicians. Under MPP, they couldn't do. 500 in 1 year. Additionally, we were able to train 6,000 youth as first aid responders under the National Ambulance Service. MPP couldn't achieve that. Mr. Speaker, nursing training support. Mr. Speaker, we have been able to make full payment of the nurses' allowances. Something they made noise over. Mr. Speaker, they made so much noise over it that they couldn't achieve that. They couldn't pay. We have been able to achieve that. Now, as we speak, 13,500 nurses have been placed on payroll. Something they couldn't do as well. Mr. Speaker, we are expanding health training institutes all over the country. Institutions that are being developed all over the country. We have given accreditation to several new teaching centers as well. Under the MPP, they couldn't do. Mr. Speaker, it will amaze you that threatening to go on strike. Today, 230 John Mahama. Attendants have been trained.
Member, your time is up. I'll proceed to give the floor to Honorable Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the 2026 budget statement and economic policy debate. Mr. Speaker, let us be clear. This 2026 budget must be evaluated and analyzed in a context, Mr. Speaker. And the context is the basis on which the current National Democratic Congress Mahama administration came to office. Mr. Speaker, they came to office on two fundamental pillars and commitment to the Ghanaian people. Two. Mr. Speaker, the first is to implement policies, programs, and interventions to reduce cost of living
and cost of doing business. Mr. Speaker, the second is to create the hundreds and thousands of jobs for the teaming pointing in the right direction. But it's also important for me to point out, Mr. Speaker, that this is principally as a result of the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government. Mr. Speaker, and secondly, also on account of the domestic gold purchase program, which was initiated by the Akufo-Addo administration. Mr. Speaker, indeed, in April 2024, specifically paragraph 232 of the 2024 budget, it was projected that by the end of 2025, inflation will ease to 8%. And inflation has been easing all the way to 8%. Mr. Speaker, this government committed to realizing these two commitments of reducing cost of living, cost of doing business, and ensuring that they reduce unemployment in our country, principally on one major policy commitment they made to the Ghanaian people, particularly the Ghanaian youth, the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, let me refer this House to Chapter 2 of the NDC Manifesto, specifically paragraph 2.1 on page 22, where they said, Mr. Speaker, and I quote, the 24-hour economic policy, same jobs, 3 shifts, 3 people, the 24-hour economy is a deliberate policy intervention by the incoming NDC administration to stimulate economic growth by creating an enabling environment for businesses and public institutions to operate 24/7 in 3 shifts of 8 hours each, end quote. So, Speaker, in August 2024, at the launch of the NDC manifesto for the 2024 election, then candidate John Dramani Mahama, now President Mahama, Mr. Speaker, had this to say, and he said that the 24-hour economy is going to be coined in a slogan called 133 formula. And the president said, Mr. Speaker, and this is very important, the president said that Ghanaian youth will have this opportunity. One person will start a job, the same job, at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8 hours. And from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight, another 8 hours, a second Ghanaian youth will take over. And that from 12 midnight to 8 a.m., another Ghanaian youth will take over, 8 hours. It means for one job, Mr. Speaker, one person will do 8 hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., another person will take the same job from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight, and the third person will take the job from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Agenda 133 formula. Mr. Speaker, I want to contend and submit here. Mr. Speaker, that the Ministry of Finance itself today closes at 5 p.m. The Ministry of Finance is running an 8-hour economy. The Ministry of Finance is not running this 133 shift. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy is not being implemented. Instead of that, Mr. Speaker, when our friends came into government, all they have been doing is sacking Ghanaian youth, is sacking young men who have been employed by the previous administration. And Mr. Speaker, this is a reality. You can check it out yourself. Across the length and breadth of our country, in all sectors of our national life, in all sectors of our national economy, thousands of Ghanaian youth, innocent Ghanaian youth, some of them NDC sympathizers, some of them MPP sympathizers, some of them non-aligned, ordinary Ghanaian citizens are being sacked. We are not getting 24-hour economy. We are not getting Agenda 113. We are rather getting, Mr. Speaker, a sacking of Ghanaian youth. That is the lot of our people, our opponents from this side. Mr. Speaker, it's important for us to point out that, as I said, the current state of the Ghanaian economy, Mr. Speaker, the data may look good, the statistics may look good, but the truth is that the Ministry of Finance is not spending. Mr. Speaker, let's take a look at paragraph 123 of the 2026 budget. The budget itself, Mr. Speaker, indicates that for the first 3 quarters of 2025, the Ministry of Finance had projected to spend the sum of 207 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister himself, in reporting to this House, has indicated that they have spent 175.9 billion Ghana cedis, a shortfall of 15%. Mr. Speaker, government spending, let us be clear, government spending anywhere in the world is a catalyst for growth. And when government spends, what they call the trickle-down economic effect. Mr. Speaker, it trickles down to every Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, so when you lock the vote, when you lock the treasury, when you lock the exchequer, when you don't spend, it affects everybody. It affects the nurses. It affects contractors. It affects farmers. It affects each and every person. So and if you want evidence, this is real. I come from a rural constituency of Damango, a farming constituency. Today, Mr. Speaker, on 10th November 2025, Joy News reported, and I quote, "Farmers cry out over unsold rice as 1 million metric tons rot in storage," end quote. Mr. Speaker, we are being told today that 1 million metric tons of rice are packed in warehouses at a value, an estimated value of 15 billion Ghana cedis. Nobody can buy. In my constituency of Damango, Mr. Speaker, maize farmers are having a bad day. Groundnut farmers are having a bad day. It is principally because government is not spending, purchasing power is weakened, credit is unavailable, domestic produce cannot be absorbed, and money circulation is low, liquidity is not in the system. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, when you go out there on the streets of Ghana, the statement on the lips of many Ghanaians is that Finance Minister Ato Forson's money is just on paper. It's just on paper. Mr. Speaker, he makes allocations. Mr. Speaker, he makes allocations as he did when he appeared before this House. 1 billion for agriculture, 100 billion for that, this billion for that. But when you go and look at the actuals, releases are in many cases 30%. Finance Minister Ato Forson's money is only on paper. It's not in the pocket of ordinary citizens. Yes. It's not in the pocket of farmers, Mr. Speaker. Yes. It's not in the pocket of teachers. Yes. It's not in the pocket of nurses. Yes. And certainly it's not in the pocket of the unemployed, struggling Ghanaian youth. Yes. Mr. Speaker, so our friends must get it clear. You can have all the data, you can have all the statistics, you can quieten the economy, you can close down economic activity, you will not have real economic growth in the real sectors, your books will look good, but in the end, you will realize, Mr. Speaker, that on the streets, grassroots economics will tell you that people are really having a hard time. And ministers across here, Mr. Speaker, our friends, our colleagues, ministers, will attest to what I'm saying. No jobs are happening in the ministries because ministers will not get money to do their work. Ministries, departments, and agencies are not receiving any payment to be able to provide goods and services for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, this government, we want to caution and encourage them to get their priorities right. Mr. Speaker, they should invest in the real sectors. They should invest in agriculture. They should invest in infrastructure. They should invest in the service industry. They should invest in manufacturing. They should invest in areas which will unleash jobs and prosperity for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, but instead, what are they spending on? Mr. Speaker, what are they spending on? And by that, Mr. Speaker, by that, let me refer, Mr. Speaker, to the monetary policy report of the Bank of Ghana, dated September 2025, specifically page 21, Mr. Speaker, where the Bank of Ghana, the central bank of our country itself, has said the three major threats to the national economy of our country, Mr. Speaker, continue to be, in their own words, increasing energy sector payments, revenue performance, rising compensation cost. The emphasis is mine, Mr. Speaker. I refer to rising compensation cost. Mr. Speaker, we have been promised a lean government, and we've been told that we have a lean government. But you have a lean government that is lean on the arms, lean on the limbs, lean in every part, but very bloated on the stomach. A Koshoko lean government. Mr. Speaker,
you have a lean government where we have a special envoy for reparations, special envoy to the Caribbean regions, 18 deputy heads of missions. Mr. Speaker, if you want to get the evidence, this is your evidence. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, President Akufo-Addo's government, the distinguished and illustrious president of our country, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Mr. Speaker, his government, Office of the President in 2024, Mr. Speaker, spent 326 million cedis on compensation in paying government workers, paying ministers, deputy ministers, presidential staffers. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, President Mohammed's government, Office of the President, President Mohammed's government has spent a whooping 540 million Ghana cedis on compensation. 50% increment. Mr. Speaker, so why can't we interrogate this? You have one government that is supposed to have a bloated government, another government that is supposed to have a lean government. The government that has a lean government is spent 356 million Ghana cedis on compensation. That is salary, paying salaries to their workers. The bloated government rather spends 547 million, 50% more, which is why, Mr. Speaker, I say that this is a called lean government. It is lean on the legs, it's lean on the limbs. But, Mr. Speaker, it is bloated with consumption because you are spending a lot. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. In spite of all these problems, the government, Mr. Speaker, in spite of all these problems, the government wants to spend 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debts. To purchase presidential debts. 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to purchase presidential debt. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debt. When you cannot pay nurses, when you cannot pay teachers, when you cannot buy farm produce, when you cannot recruit workers. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. President Mahama taught us and reminded the country that President Akufo-Addo should take charge. He should not engage in blame game. That is responsible for resolving the problems of this country. President Mahama should take charge. And Mr. Speaker, should take charge, and this minority, this MPP minority,
yes,
this MPP minority, this mighty minority, we are saying, so far, so not well. So
yes,
far, so not
leader.
good. So far, so much unemployment and suffering. That is what this 2026 budget is offering the Ghanaian people. Suffering and unemployment. I thank you, Mr.
Majority
Speaker.
Leader, you have the floor. You have the floor. Yes, Majority Leader. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we agreed from the onset. To allow free flow of debate, and we're all committed to that. But then we caution that we should be accurate in our statistics and our figures. Mr. Speaker, he said that in this budget, 1.2 billion has been allocated to buy a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, he should just show us which line item contained in the budget has an allocation or a proposal of $1.2 billion for the purchase of a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, it is important. This is a House of Records. Otherwise, you have to expunge this from
the records of this house. Because nowhere in this budget is $1.2 billion allocated for the purchase of a presidential jet. $1.2 billion. How much is Air Force One? Air Force One, how much does it cost? How much does Air Force One cost? For us to allocate $1.2 billion for a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, he should show us. He should show us $1.2 billion United States dollars for a presidential jet. I want to see that.
Yes, honorable member.
Mr.
First,
Speaker,
mention the page so that everybody can be with you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. And Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to respond to the Honorable Majority Leader and to answer his inquiry. Mr. Speaker, may I refer the House to page 184 of the budget statement. Mr. Speaker, and at page 184 of the budget statement, you will see retooling of the Air Force, Mr. Speaker. And retooling of the Air Force, you will see CAPEX. Mr. Speaker, CAPEX meaning capital expenditure. Mr. Speaker, capital expenditure. And Mr. Speaker, I referred only to the 2 presidential jets, which I referred to the 2 presidential jets, which are. But Mr. Speaker, if you have the budget there, please, if you have the budget with you, you will see, Mr. Speaker, if you have the budget at page 184, you will see at CAPEX that what is actually being budgeted for the retooling of the Ghana Armed Forces is Ghana Air Force, Mr. Speaker, is 2.5 billion. 2.5 billion.
Is it dollars or cedis?
2.5 billion Ghana cedis. Hold on. Mr. Speaker, 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 Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, 2.5 billion to buy 2 presidential jets. To buy 2 presidential jets. And Mr. Speaker, you will see, Mr. Speaker, you will see again at paragraphs 1087 and 1091 of the budget statement, 1091 of the budget statement, that $1.2 billion is being programmed, Mr. Speaker, to buy 2 presidential jets, 4 helicopters.
You are calling another paragraph.
No, Mr. Speaker, no, I'm making a point. And the point I made, Mr. Speaker, I'm making a point. The point I sought to make was that if you have this amount of money, teachers have not been paid, nurses have not been paid, farmers' produce are not being bought, market women are complaining about purchases. There are numerous problems in our country. Why will you spend $1.2 billion to buy 2 presidential jets, 4 helicopters, and 1 ship? That is the point I've made, Mr. Speaker. That's the point.
Honourable members, I think that when the figure is quoted in cedis and you want to quote it from the budget, you have to quote what exactly is in the budget. Ghana cedis is quite different from dollars. Honourable members, because the figure quoted by the former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, he placed on the record dollars. When given the opportunity, he now mentions cedis.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record. Mr. Speaker,
yes.
This is a house of record.
Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, and it's a matter of personal integrity. Let me state my position. Mr. Speaker, I am prepared to be corrected if I'm wrong, but in this case, I'm not wrong. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, this is a matter of personal integrity. Mr. Speaker,
but in your debate, you quoted dollars.
No, but what? The dollars is $1.2 billion to buy 2 presidential jets, 4 helicopters, and 1 ship.
Which page of the budget?
That is the point I'm making. And you will find it at paragraph 1087 and 1091 of the budget. Mr. Speaker, what I refer to in the budget itself, Mr. Speaker, what I refer to in the budget itself is a retooling of Ghana Air Force at the CAPEX column, which is the capital expenditure, which is retooling of Ghana Air Force, which is 2.5 billion Ghana cedis. The 1.2 billion United States dollars is for the purchase of 2 presidential jets,
so
4 helicopters, 1
mention
ship.
which item in the budget.
And in no humility and modesty, I'm a lawyer. I've checked my first out.
Mention the line item in the budget.
And I know what I'm talking about. It's $1.2 billion.
Yes, Honorable Ayarga. Yes, Honorable Ayarga.
This is the page he's talking about. There's no 1.2 billion.
I have it. Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
This is a House of Records. This is a House of Records. And the honorable member who just spoke is a former cabinet minister for lands and natural resources. I need not to lecture him on the value and importance of accuracy. Mr. Speaker, he referred us to page 184. And I have opened page 184 and item 34, Ministry of Defense. Let's go through the items. The third item under Ministry of Defense is retooling of the Air Force. Retooling of the Air Force. And the figure there, CAPEX, is 2,532 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker,
Yes. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I went to primary school in Boku. You may doubt the quality of the schools in Boku, but I cannot imagine which primary school you went, where you were taught